Right, well, welcome to this, which is the 6th video in this lily pad stamp club, and an exciting video because this is going to be the first video since we started where I'm going to have a complete set of stamps, because we found the missing stamp in video number 5. I knew I'd find it at the end. Right. Here I have a soup bowl with a funny face on. That is not at all relevant. You do not need a soup bowl with a face on in order to complete this project. But we're going to do a one sheet wonder. So I've got a piece of A4 very vanilla cardstock here, and I want to draw a circle in the middle of it. So I've rifled through my cupboards and I found something. So I didn't want something that was going to completely fill the card, but I wanted something that was going to give me quite a nice circle in the middle. And if I measure the circumference of that bowl, it's around about just a smidge under 14 centimetres, which in old money is about 5.5 inches. So something around that sort of ballpark figure, whatever you happen to have in your cupboard. So we've given ourselves a circle in the middle that we shall eventually rub out that pencil mark, but it's given us a base around which we're going to create our one sheet wonder. So I think I'm going to start by I'm not surprisingly going to take the stamp that's just come to life. We will get onto that one, but for now I'm going to take this leaf stamp and mint macaron, I think. Ooh. I'm going to wipe that stamp's bottom because it feels like it's got some embossing powder on it. So that means it's not going to stick very well to my block. That's a bit better. Feels like it's got a bit more adherence. So using my sort of circle as a guide, I'm going to just come round and stamp some leaves. So I'm trying to avoid the leaves part of it sort of necessarily crossing over. I'm just going to wipe the end of that block. I'm not worried about the stalks crossing. It's looking quite fun. And I'm just going to work my way round. Got a little blob. I always manage a little blob somewhere, don't I? Going to get to the bit in a minute where we're going to want to join it up. That will be fun, won't it? I'm sure it's all going to work perfectly. Ooh. We lost the end of that leaf. Let's have one more coming in that way. That's looking pretty good, I think. So that's given us a sort of a starting point from which we can build out other bits. Now let's bring in our little, just spotted my long block, bring in our sort of wheat. I think we'll go crumb cake. Just coming in, doing these. I keep missing the end. Doing these in little pairs. Definitely missed the end of that one. Let's have one more here. Let's find, come in with this little leaf just here. We'll do that one in early espresso. Oh, again. What is it about me keep losing the end of my stamps? Give that block a bit of a clean, it's getting a bit grubby on the end. Let's swap it over for a smaller block, then we won't have the overhang on it. this here. And then one more in here. I've got this little leaf just here. I might bring in some Cajun craze with that one. Just thinking where on earth have I put that little block, but here it is. Ooh. Oh, that one's upside down. That will be a spot the deliberate mistake when we finished. Right. I'm going to take the little random leaf stamp, and I think I'm going to take mint macaron and a piece of scrap paper. Oh, I caught just there. I don't have to look at that and on and on. I'm going to take cake dauber. Oh, nearly a disaster in the making. Sorry, I'm wobbling that. Wobbling the camera. Let's try. I'm going to swap to my cake sponge, just because it's got a wider base on it. And building up. Colour under there. Right, what we're going to do now is, I put that in the wrong way round. Have I? No, it just is not, it's not quite right. It is the right way round, but just not quite right. That's better. Let's move that out of the way. Bring these stamps back in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that's got this sort of autumnal wreath in the middle of it, and I am going to cut it into 4 pieces. And each of those pieces we'll be able to use for a card. Now we'll probably want to trim each of those down a little bit, so we might want to make that 9.5 by 13.9. Do the same with that one. And that one. So this is a very different sort of one sheet wonder. You're still starting off with one sheet and cutting it down to create your bases. I'm quite tempted. Let's have a look. I'm going to make this 14.4 by 10. And we can, it won't really matter, we can decide as we go on which ones we're going to have for which. We'll have a mint macaron one. We'll have a crumb cake one. And then we'll have an early espresso one. And then let's decide what we're going to do with each of those. So this one's got that funny line on it just there. So we will have something that cuts across there, I think. Let me find a little bit of very vanilla. Let's come in with some early espresso ink. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Let's bring in our mini trimmer. Oh. Going to cut it off fairly straight on that edge. And that's going to just trim the edge of that. Let's take it down a little bit on the other side as well. Let's have a little bit of an espresso card. Actually, what I do want to do before I stick that on there, I just want to snip that at an angle. Then I think I've still got some of this embossed foil that we'd used. Oh, little while ago. Shall I just... Because we're going to want to put something a little bit different on each one. So should we just have... Where did that go? Oh, there you are. We have 3 little sort of coppery embossed leaves going on. And I think we'll have a little bow of the matching ribbon matches that foil. So let's put those up onto some dimensionals. I think we need little ones. Those are big ones. Now, I actually can't see my pencil line. If it is visible, I think there's perhaps a bit of a smidge of it showing just there. You can go in and rub that out. Put a couple of big dimensionals on the back of here. I've got that beautifully positioned so it just covers that little annoying line. Obviously, cover your own little annoying lines if necessary. You may have been much better than me and not had an annoying line. This really is very nearly out of glue. It's only the fact that it's sitting upside down is allowing me to squeeze the final bits out of it. Thick, very vanilla. 2 pieces there, excellent. So let's just move that to one side and let's create... Certainly we'll start off by creating 2. We might come back in and do the other 2 in a minute. We'll see. Oh look, that's got an annoying mark on it now. Where's that come from? Where have I just picked that up from? I'm sure these little mucky marks lay in wait for me. That's okay, because we will stick this card front to it. I think I can more or less say that this glue is empty. I am literally squeezing the last out of it. Now this one was the one that was playing me up earlier. Still is. I may have to give that some very definite surgery. Right, so there we are, there's one. This one that's on crumb cake. Shouldn't have any problems with this one. Look at that. Glue's no problem, it's just the sticker that's having problems. Let's have a look at the, I do love the Tasteful Touches. What shall we have? Life is better with you. What's that going to fit into? Will fit quite nicely in there, won't it? So I think I might cut that out of, I might stamp it and cut it out of a piece of crumb cake. So we will stamp it in Early Espresso. Early Espresso is such a useful colour. It's quite a nice alternative to black, actually, if you want something that isn't quite so harsh. Life is better with you. I'll run that through. Move my circular soup bowl. Make sure that's somewhere that isn't going to fall off. Throwing my die onto the floor. That's not going to help me die cut anything, is it? That's better. Right. Life is better with you. I will pop that up on some big dimensionals. Let's take this little piece of crumb cake just here and let's pick out this brown leaf just here. And let's where are you, little brown leaf? Just move some of this cardstock. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed here again. Overwhelmed with stuff. Put that back in there. Right, let's have a look. I seem to have every stamp bar the one I'm looking for, or am I just looking straight at it? Oh, I have the you gone, little stamp? We made you a change of mind as to which stamp we have. We can't see it. Oh, that's frustrating. I picked it up on the bottom of my... It's definitely not there, is it? Let's have a look. Some of these want a bit of a wash now, I think. There, that's there, that's there. Top of the acorn. It's here, isn't it? It is there. See, don't know what I'm looking for, but it is there. Okay, this little one just here, and we'll take this block. Just going to stamp 3 of those and punch them out. Done that the wrong side of the card. So let's trim that down a little bit so that we can get our punch in. One. Let's have 3. I think I'm going to take one of these little acorns for this one. I'm going to take some just some ordinary linen thread, and hopefully that will post quite nicely through there. Yes, or not. Linen thread is so useful. You can colour it with your inks if you want it to be a slightly different tone. But with these sorts of autumnal cards, it is perfect. Right, so where is our other, have I put it away with that other cardstock? Yes, here it is, our other card base. So let's stick this one on here. And then we'll come in with these leaves. So we'll have one coming up this way. Come here. One heading out that way. Way coming down here, and then we'll get a little glue dot, and we'll attach our acorn. In fact, I put 2 glue dots on there to attach that acorn. Let's twiddle that round slightly so that that bow is coming down this way. Okay, so that's that one. So that's number 2. Got number 3 here. heart is grateful for you. I think I might do that actually in mint macaron to go with the mint macaron mat underneath it. I might actually just leave that one as it is. I think I'm going to take a piece of crumb cake for that one to make the card base. Let's cut this to 14.9 and score at 10.5. Stick that one on there. And then last but not least, onto our Cajun craze. May have this one coming this way, I think. And I think we'll have a beautiful day. In fact, I'm going to take, I wonder if that little snippet coming off there, yes, is going to be perfect. So let's take, I don't think this block is quite long enough. No, it isn't. It hangs off the edge. So we need the next one down. I think again we're going to go early espresso. We'll take this block here. We'll ink that up. And hopefully catch that on there. What I think I'm going to do is take my scissors and some little dimensionals. Have a beautiful that one I've not taken the back off. No wonder it's not sticking. That's why that's not sticking. Have a beautiful day. I think I went from the sublime to the ridiculous there. Let's bring that back a bit. Went from not having enough to having far too much. I think I can still pull it back a little bit. That's it. What I'm going to do now is just tie that in a bit of a bow just here. Let's cut that off, then we can have a tweak with it. There we are. And then I think for that one, I think we'll give that one an early espresso base. So let's just see. Oh, it's just slightly over. So let's trim that down to 14.9. Screw it at 10.5. This one obviously will need, as will the crumb cake one, really need a insert in it. So, one piece of card and one soup bowl miraculously turned into 4 different cards. And for the first time we've been able to use that lovely little wheat stamp. So I hope you've enjoyed that and that you'll have a go at that one sheet wonder.